my son, so my son has been,
surprise, motherfucker.
No, I'm not saying that one for Tango.
Do it!
Anything for Tango types in chat. Don't look it up.
Good guy. Good weed. No. No, but good guy.
Hey, I see you. You think I'm stupid?
What? No.
Were you really waiting in the corner of the room in complete darkness, expecting me to nod off so you could jack me for all of the salt I have? You viewers are getting a little out of hand, but I get it. Other salt dealers do the bare minimum. Daddy Frit does all the heavy lifting and has turned very mid-commentary into something special. Well, you have subscribed to the right channel. It's very addicting stuff, I know. But I'm gonna warn you, the next time you guys loom in the shadows thinking I'm not seeing you, I'm gonna have a bear trap in place. And no, I will not free you from it. Now get your ass over here so we can start this video already.
Guess what? Fucking pronouns! I love nothing more than to be dragged out.
The gay station, the woke station, the pander station, whatever you want to call it, don't matter. It's all accurate and fair representation of the brand now.
Of girls in respectable positions of power.
Shoutouts to feminism!
Earlier this year, we spent some time talking about the insane ESG and DEI pandering that's going on at Microsoft, and how they're paying white people less than diverse employees, and how heavily Microsoft utilizes companies like Sweet Baby. If you want to watch that video, well, I'll leave a link down below because it is a subject I am surprisingly quite passionate about.
You know someone who is on the spectrum.
Video games are getting insanely woke to the point that, you know, Call of Duty thinks it's a great idea to have trans bullets.
Modern problems require modern solutions.
Genius marketing. Well, it is that time, the gayest month of the year, and with it comes some of the most unapologetic marketing and advertisement towards the Rainbow Mafia.
Is LGBT stand for lesbian? Oh, gay. Oh, bi. And a trans.
No! Oh my God! Oh!
We celebrate name.
Who the f is we?
And well, it struck PlayStation extra hard. Much like Microsoft and a multitude of other gaming corporations, Sony has an interest in that ESG money. I mean, this should have been obvious with The Last of Us 2. PlayStation was always going to go down this road. It just really sucks to see it happen because it's like watching every single company succumb to it one by one. And if you don't believe it's affecting your video games, you are blind. And you probably shouldn't be on this channel. Go watch something safe.
Fucking pussy.
Here at Fertango Plays, we're not going to hold back. Yeah, and I know that hurts your feelings. I read comments all the time. Every single one of them. So if for some reason you can't handle criticism of live service slop that is completely infested with woke propaganda, then now is the time to tune out. May God have mercy on your pathetic, weak mind.
Beta!
So a few days ago, we got a chance to talk in great length about the state of mid-2024 from PlayStation. And the highlight of that showcase, unfortunately, was a live service title from Firewalk Studios, and their title being Concord.
Concord.
Wait a minute.
Hey!
I've already said what I need to say about this game, and well, let's not get it twisted. Unfortunately for us, what it will take for PlayStation fanboys to see what is wrong with this product would be if it was an Xbox title or a multi-plat. That's just the reality of it. I mean, take a look at PC Gamer and what they have to say.
It's hard to complain about hero shooter fatigue when Concord looks Death God.
It's like people only do things because they get paid. And that's just really sad.
Wow. All that for a drop of clout? Wow, a lot of these publications are getting very desperate, relying on rage baiting to to continue getting any sort of clicks. Not a single person I could think of, not even the woke crowd, would take one look at Concord and say, yeah, that's my shit.
We'll take 20.
If the woke crowd doesn't even care about Overwatch and its changes, what makes Firewalk Studios think people are going to care about their game? Concord looks like everything wrong with the current state of the gaming industry for being a gas title. And if you don't know what I mean by gas, that's games as a service. The very thing people claim they left Xbox for. So you jump to escape a pirate ship onto another. Congratulations. The defense force for this game is already happening, and it's honestly astonishing to me. Anybody looking forward to this Marvel tier writing shouldn't be allowed to review or critique games. I'm sorry, I know that's a little extremist, but it's just the reality. Nothing about the game helps it stand out above other games of its type. Why gaming media is always so positive in trying to push PlayStation games forward shouldn't be put into question. We know why. The check cleared. After all, Sony does invest heavily into marketing. This, maybe could fall under their marketing. Having shameless media sites cap for their piece of shit game. I mean, PC Gamer must have been paid by PlayStation to promote this game because listen to this.
Concord isn't free to play that we know of, and that's very exciting.
Don't ask questions. Just consume product and then get excited for next product.
What? It's not free to play? How is this piece of shit not free to play? You'd practically have to pay people to play it. They're not actually thinking about selling this for a price, are they? In what world is another Overwatch clone that's not free to play a good sign? You really think people are drooling, dying to pay so that they can play as a gay robot with pronouns? Who in the world is more optimistic now because they have to pay for Concord? Who? If Sony really wanted a multiplayer game that people would pay for, why didn't they just make another Killzone or SOCOM or Resistance? Things that are guaranteed to sell. Concord is a financial gamble. Nothing Sony is doing is making any sense. They know the reception these DEI and ESG games get. They know the reception Overwatch clones get. They know the reception games as a service gets, and yet they greenlit the whole thing. But I mean, why wouldn't they? When you got media outlets like PC Gamer there to cover up for you, you're practically paying for the reception you want. Now, for the contrarians in the audience who are going to ask the obvious questions like, oh, how is it woke? I'm not going to answer your question because when I do, you're going to follow it up with a, well, what's wrong with that? But for those of you who simply want to absorb the information and process it on your own, this next bit of information is quite crucial in determining whether you may purchase this game or not. Concord lead character designer believes whites must acknowledge their privileged position and then actively work for equality. Also claims the judicial system is white power! I don't think I've ever prayed so hard for a video game's failure. I sincerely hope this bombs as hard as Suicide Squad. Hell, even harder than Suicide Squad. I hope there is absolutely zero chance for this game. I mean, the developers already did that themselves with what they've decided to release. Another woke Overwatch clone. How brave. How daring. But you always notice that these games have something in common. The people who work behind them are absolutely insane. Like we've pointed out with many of the Sweet Baby projects. This mindset, this mentality that has infected gaming has spread faster than the effects of the vaccine. Now, of course, this comes from That Park Place, which isn't enough for me, all right? No offense to that site, but when it comes to knowing these things, I'd rather look into it myself than completely going off what a journalist says. And, well, I looked it up, and it's all true. This John Wayniewski, however you say that last name, is indeed a lead character designer at Firewalk Studio, and, these are a couple of his tweets.
I got to go jogging this morning without worrying about being murdered by the police because I'm white. all the support to the protesters and people who do have to worry about this every day of their lives.
Watch where you walking, bitch.
What did you... Wait a minute. I'm white.
Thinking that all white people are unconsciously racist is the same as thinking that all black people are unconsciously lazy.
That is an oversimplification. The sentiment being expressed is that whites must acknowledge their privileged position and then actively work for equality. It will be hard and confronting work, but if we don't, we're complicit. And complicity allows systemic racism to persist.
So I didn't feel any white privilege. I know some people had it, man. You know, I knew some motherfuckers with sweaters.
Vote today if you haven't already. This one is simple. Neo-Nazis, white nationalists, and the KKK are all outwardly and visibly supporting the current administration. We don't support those ideals. We need to vote against them. Not voting is the same as letting them take it.
Every single one of these developers that pushes for DEI and ESG, they all view white people as the problem. The worst part is they think they have to be cucks and bend the knee and acknowledge their so-called privilege, thinking it will garner them respect. But instead, I'm pretty convinced black people, when they go home, are all roasting the shit out of you, thinking, look at these pudgy white dudes and how easy it is to get them to do whatever I want. Now, in case you were wondering why there's such a minimal amount of white people in Concord, now you know. If it isn't obvious enough to you at this point that anything that pushes for DEI is created and produced by people with very radical and outlandish beliefs, then perhaps these connections are enough to finally get your two brain cells to work together and understand why people get infuriated when they see it all over media, because none of these decisions made are done so out of creative necessity. It's to push the personal beliefs and mentality of these weirdos. Nobody likes political messaging pushed this hard in anything, because the ones making it, they have an agenda against a specific demographic: white, straight men. Now here's the worst part. PlayStation had a chance not to have these guys come back and to not make this game. Unfortunately, instead, Sony decided to purchase them and say, go ahead, continue with this shitty looking game. So it is 100% on Sony. This game's existence is only happening because Sony greenlit it. I understand there's a need for PlayStation to pad the amount of games as a service titles, but really, I mean, there's a reason Firewalk couldn't make it. You know your audience doesn't want this. You know the backlash it would receive. You know it's a setup for failure. I mean, I can't believe I'm saying this, but this is something I expect out of Phil Spencer. So to see Sony making the same boneheaded decisions, not a good sign of the times. Luckily for us, this looks like a game that's going to require PSN, so you know what that means. The majority of the world will be region locked from playing it, so bravo! At least, we can only hope so. If Sony doesn't require PSN with this one, then they would be really trying their hardest to push it, which hopefully not, because this has got to be the most soulless corporate thing I have ever seen in my life. And every year it gets worse. Want to know how I know? Because I say the same thing every year. In 2020, I just started noticing this massive shift in the presentation and quality of video games. Aesthetics just started blending in so much, nobody could produce something that actually looked unique or stood out. Now just imagine how bad it will get if they program AI to be woke. Oh, I don't even want to think about it. It's bad enough that Concord itself looks like one of those fake video games you would see in a TV show, or like one of those fake video games you see in a mobile ad. But you have to keep in mind, in spite of AI, this is all still 100% handmade by people. Gaming is full of this dog shit. Fuck off with your 5v5s. For Christ's sake, please allow gamers to breathe. Oh my God. And the worst part is these DEI/ESG games, they always go for the most soulless, bland, copy-pasted gameplay mechanics that everybody's been copying since 2016. We could very well have another Lawbreakers on our hands here, folks. Personally, if I was one of these developers at Firewalk Studios, I would start firing up my resume. I mean, most of you are former Bungie developers, so you're no stranger to making this live service trash. Any creatively bankrupt corporation will love to have you. All people have left now is the Xbox Showcase. Oh wait, no, never mind. There is, of course, Jeff Keighley's Summer Game Fest, which he himself came out and said there's no reason to basically watch. So, that's all she wrote for 2024 for Sony, it would seem. So, thanks, Sony. Thanks for hiring yet another ultra-woke gaming company that has absolutely nothing of value to add to your company. Brilliant move. I cannot wait for launch day of this game. It'll be about as successful as Zao and Foam Stars and Forspoken. Meanwhile, the only live service game from PlayStation has taken off is the ironic game about patriotism. Think about that. Come on, Herman. Enough with this crap. Like, comment, share, and subscribe if you so choose to. That being said, I'll see you in the next one.
Fritongo sucks ass.